All right. Hey, everybody, how we doing? You would think I should know this by now. I just get lost. Moi, again. And this time I'm here with another November read. This one took me a long time to get through, even though it's rather thin, but let's get to it. This is Charlie, I'm a member of Literary Gladiators. Josh and I, in case you don't know, the original members of this wonderful, wonderful group. And again, I'm back to contribute a little bit more. Like I said, some personal things going on, and was able to get out of work a little early, so here we are. Alright, now, in my last video I discussed something totally different, on a totally different realm. This one is more if you're into the paralegal, legal world. I think I mentioned in some of my videos I've had an interest in law, and if I have, I apologize, but I decided to enroll into a paralegal program. And this book is from, of course, and most of the other books I've had, except the ones I got on the web, are from the local library. So, this is the Paralegal's Handbook updated and revised edition. Anita G. Haworth and Lesley Cox, RP, registered paralegals. So, what is a paralegal? Well, simply, way back in the, I believe it was the 50s and 60s, too much work was being placed on lawyers. Computers took up the size of a room, and they needed people who were trained enough. Most of them were law clerks or legal secretaries. They were just secretaries, and they were doing a lot of typing, and the lawyers decided they needed more help. And of course, with the civil rights, you had more and more people advocating and pushing. So there's also other, other reasons how paralegals became who they are. It's a profession that, believe it or not, I'm not going into, but it's there as I like to say, as a backup, because it's also very good to know the law and be aware of, things. I have learned a lot in the program I'm in. I've taken a certificate course through them. Again, I learned a lot through that as well. But enough about that nonsense. What does a paralegal do? And what are their rules? Believe it or not, the difference between a paralegal or legal assistant and an attorney is the only one who can go and practice law and give legal advice. They can handle the money, and paralegals have a very strict obligation. There's several national and, of course, county bar associations for paralegals, and there's also many. There's one is the NALA, National. Hello, I think it's the National Association for Legal. So just I just lost my train of thought there. And there's, like I said, NALA. We'll put a link in the description as well. And there's also the NF, National Federation Paralegal Association. Some of them are getting a little lost here. Yep. NFPA. So what they do is they offer training programs to become certified. As of right now, in every state does not require you to be certified, but they require you to have a basic education. In most states, the state I'm in only requires a associate's degree and a paralegal certificate of proficiency, complete whatever. Because you're working with an attorney, you're under the and this is according to the rules and the definition of a paralegal, you are under the direct supervision of that attorney, who's basically your boss. Man, my boss is a lawyer. Okay, so there is a very strict line that paralegals have, and if they cross that line, giving legal advice is usually one of the most things that may go wrong. It might be something completely innocent. Like, oh, I think you should sue, or you should maybe use that form instead. And it's technically, in a way, it's like, even you're saying, I think you should, best thing to say is, I'm a paralegal, or I am so-and-so, and I'm not a lawyer. But paralegals can make good money. I did not know this, but the government has thousands of paralegals working for different associations, and a lot of them have more or less, some programs you can go for Like I said, for there's probate, there's criminal law, there's real estate, all of these areas you can go into. The program I'm in right now is it's a diploma program, so it's an academic, but it's online. I won't name the institute off the top of my head because I don't know. I may have in the past, so if I have, don't sue me. Because anyway, it's as long as it's accredited. Like I said, I had this interest, and I do want to help people. Have I given legal advice? No, but I almost did once, and I'm like, whoa, hold on, I can't talk about that. I don't see myself doing this anytime soon. It might be something I do 10 years from now, 15 years from now. I don't know. But if that happens, I will have the credentials needed, unless statutes or laws change, but I highly doubt that'll happen anytime soon. So, again, a paralegal, you could be a litigation paralegal, where you're in the courtroom with the attorney. And you're guiding, you're making sure the computer. This book was very detailed. I mean, exceptionally detailed. One thing you definitely need to have as a paralegal is detail. And this is from Kaplan Publishing, so it's very, it's very good. This book is a little dated, it's from 2010. However, most of this stuff is still the same here. And like I said, getting back to that education requirement. For those of you who may not know this, attorneys not only have to go to college and law school, but they also must pass what's called a bar exam. And I didn't even know that until like 5 years ago. I didn't realize they have to actually sit for an exam, which is basically all of law school, what you learned. And you take that exam, and you basically, that's pass-fail, or I think some states it's a little, you can go back and take it if you need to, but again, but it's a lot of pressure, and that's if you want to become an attorney or a lawyer. With a paralegal, there are advanced degrees you can get in paralegal studies, but you still, no matter what, you couldn't actually have a JD, a Juris Doctorate. But if you're working as a paralegal, you cannot give legal advice. One of those, that's actually part of the canons or codes. So all of that's in here as well. This book, like I said, attention to detail, oh my god. It talks about a general overview of the paralegal profession, what it entails, what you'll be doing, what you won't be doing. It has sample forms, their canons. A paralegal shall maintain a high standard of professional ethical conduct, things like that. Paralegal shall serve the public interest by contributing to the improvement of the legal system and delivering quality, blah, blah. So all of these things in here, charts, graphs, sample, what are case reports, summaries, something in what's called discovery. A lot of people may not know what that is. The discovery process is when both parties are trying to get information from one another. And they have to do so under the strictest of rules. If one rule is broken, that can corrupt everything. And you don't want that, especially if it's your first time. And again, like I said, paralegals, they cannot practice law unless you do go ahead to law school and take the bar exam and pass it. Then you can become certified, then you can become a lawyer. Something I will never do. So this, again, like I said, it talks about the trial and preparation, what mediation is. That's basically, don't sue me, so sign here to mediate, and a few other things around that area. Like I said, the discovery process, and you have also, in that part is subpoenas, when you basically say, listen, here's this, I'm going to send you a subpoena for, you don't ever say it, you just do it, because you don't want your adversary to be aware. You can't just say, I'm going to sue you, because that means if you don't do it, it's a threat, in a way. I don't want to babble on anymore here. Again, very, very detailed. All things that I would never have thought of. But again, it's not something I want to be doing at this time. Like I said, my mind can change in 10 years, 15 years. 5 minutes from now after this recording and I go home and eat some pork chops. You never know. But like I said, I'm giving this 4 out of 5 because it was really... yes, I actually broke that chain. I've been doing a lot of 5 out of 5s. 4 out of 5 because a lot of a period that you have to memorize. I don't, personally, but again, if you are into that field like I am, or into that, have that interest, but if you're going into that field, you gotta know this stuff. And I'm only doing it right now, like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, so, like I said, 4 out of 5, because great book, again, so many details, but it's like, oh my god, I had a headache after a little while. So, again, the Paralegal's Handbook by Kaplan Publishing. The authors are down here: Anita Haworth. I am so sorry if I'm butchering that. Lesley Cox. Both of them are RPs. There's also, I wanted to say, the appendix. There's different... just kidding. You knew I was going to do that. There's also sample things you have in the back for forms and requests for to go on and inspect property and things like that. We don't want to go into that anymore. So, very, very good read, and I believe this should be in every paralegal's and even law students' go-to bag or suitcase or whatever. I think they even make pocket-sized ones. I'm not sure, but still, all joking aside, very good to have, good information, very, very good information. Makes you think outside the box, and basically take the box and throw it to the curb. So they did a wonderful job with that. Anyway, I'm hungry. I see a plate of pork chops. So, as Josh would always say, for now, keep reading, and I will see you in the future. Farewell.